Let me preload this so that I can show you guys all this stuff. Now, the last episode I was talking mostly about the hardware. This episode I'm going to kind of give you guys the other stuff that you need in order to play stock class. I'm putting one of them on right now that I'll get to in just a second here. I'm already going on an assumption here that you played paintball before, you have all the safety equipment, you have everything that you need to play. The only thing you're lacking are the specialty goods, essentially. So this episode we're going to talk about those specialty goods. So of course the first question is, are you playing pure stock class or are you playing modified stock? If you're playing pure stock class, you're going to need to carry a bunch of 12 grams on you. And this is one of the ways that you can do it. This is one of the old school ways to do it. I always call these the Chun-Li bracelets for obvious reasons. This one holds 5. I've seen them hold as much as 6, 12 grams on a wristlet kind of thing. And basically you just take it off and go. Advantage, they're easy to grab. Disadvantage, they're also very easy to fall out. There's several variations in the theme of this, and if you don't want to go to a specialty shop to find a 12 gram specific one, here's a fun one for you. Go to your local hunting goods store and look for something called a stock sock. It's going to be a large, basically an elastic sock that has these kind of loops sewn into it. And you can wear that on your forearm, and that'll hold 5 12 grams right here for you. Now, those things don't last very long, but they'll last you through the weekend if you're in a pinch. Now, regardless if you're playing stock class or you're playing modified stock, you're going to need a bunch of these 10-round tubes. The 10-round tubes are fairly easy to get. You just have to go to specialty stores for them, and by that I mean pretty much mail order these days. Not very many local stores will have 10-round tubes. So where do you get them? Well, just about any one of the major online catalogs will have these things. And they almost all come in the clear color. If you want something other than clear, you're going to have to dye it yourself. And actually, I remember somebody put up an FAQ on how to dye these things using RIT dye. So how many 10-round tubes are you going to need to carry? Well, that's kind of an interesting question, and one that you're going to probably find out through experimentation. I've been playing a lot of speedball lately, and I find that in an average game of speedball, I shoot maybe 10 to 15 shots on average. So what I'll do is I'll carry a lot of tubes on me so they can just play one game after another after another. And for some big games, I'll carry like 200 rounds in 10-round tubes. For some games, I'll just go out there with like 3 or 4, depending on what the role is and what I need to do. So how do you carry all these tubes? This is one method of doing it. This is a simple belt design. This is actually sort of an old school one. Royal Flush, name of the company. It's just a belt webbing that has these elastic loops on it that you can hold 12 grams or tubes. Matter of fact, this is one of the old school ways to do it. You put 2 tubes, 1 12 gram, 2 tubes, 1 12 gram. That's because most of the stock class guns, you get about 20 shots on 1 12 gram. Now, if you get it right, I know some people are going to say, well, I can get like 45 shots, I can get like 50 shots on a 12 gram. Well, bully for you. Most of us get 20 shots per 12 grams, so this is how all the old school guys would configure their belts. And again, if you're in a rush, if you're in a hurry, or if you can't find one of these things, what you can do is you can go to your local hunting store once again and find yourself a shotgun shell belt. The shotgun shell belts are going to be a little bit less wide and here, but they hold 10 rounds and they hold 12 grams exactly. They're just perfect. Now let's say you want to go with something a little more slick than this. There are other options, and I'm wearing one right now on the back, right here. This is actually one that was made way back when by Doc Nickel, of all people. Yeah, go figure. The guy who basically made stock class cool. Yeah, love you, Bandit. He actually made these bandit packs, right like here. And the one advantage to this is that I can take let's see if I can do this on camera, there we go. I can actually take one of the 10-round tubes out, and without looking, I can put it back in, and it slides in nicely. Now, Doc doesn't have any of these in stock right now, at least as far as I'm aware, but he does have this like chest harness thing. All the tubes are going to sit inside of elastic pouches without the cap on them. And you just pull the tube out, you dump it into the gun, and you put the tube back in. A lot of the guys love running the capless tubes, and some people prefer running them with the caps. It's all preference, really. There are other options if you want to go that route. I mean, you guys have seen the Molly Gear ones that I have. I've also seen the arm gauntlets, which are just awesome. I'm planning on picking up a set of those. So Mo, keep a set handy for me, okay? Or if you really want to run old school, or if you just don't want to mess with it, go hit up your local Army Navy surplus store and you want to look for a pouch. Bring a couple of these things along with you, and then just try it out. Put them in different stuff and see what works. See what other accessories do you absolutely need to play stock class. Actually, that's it, and that's actually kind of the beauty of stock class play. You don't need a lot of stuff, and that's actually one of the things that attracts people to stock class, is that you can just go out there with minimal weight and just go play.